By the end of this module, you'll be able to pick the right expansion card for any upgrade scenario, identify PCIe lane requirements, and troubleshoot the three most common install failures: power, fit, and driver. Expansion cards are how you add features to a desktop PC without replacing the whole system, and understanding them is critical because the exam tests real-world judgment, which card solves which problem, and what breaks when the install goes wrong. We're covering 4 card types: sound, video, capture, and network, plus the slot and power infrastructure that makes them work. This isn't a parts catalog. Every slide teaches a decision you'll make in the field or a troubleshooting step the exam will ask about. Before we talk about specific cards, you need to understand the highway they ride on. PCI Express, or PCIe, is the slot standard in every modern motherboard. Think of it like a freeway between the card and the CPU chipset. The more lanes you have, the more data can move at the same time. A basic network card only needs one lane, that's X1. A high-end GPU needs 16 lanes, that's X16, because it's pushing massive amounts of pixel data every frame. Here's the exam trap. A slot can look like X16 but only be wired for X4. That means a full-length card will physically fit, but it'll only run at X4 speed. The reverse matters too. You cannot jam an X16 card into an X1 slot. It won't fit. Compatibility across PCIe generations is usually fine. A newer card works in an older slot, but it'll run at the older generation speed, which explains why a card functions but feels slow. Power, cooling, and physical fit are the 3 things that break installs, not the slot itself. Start with power. The PCIe slot provides some power, but GPUs and some capture cards need dedicated power from the PSU. That's the 6-pin or 8-pin PCIe connector you see on the card. If the card needs it and you don't plug it in, the system won't boot, or it'll crash under load. Cooling is next. A high-performance GPU dumps serious heat into the case. Poor airflow causes throttling, the card slows itself down to avoid damage, or driver timeouts and random shutdowns. Small cases make this worse. Finally, fit. You need to check bracket height, standard versus low profile for small form factor builds, slot width, because many GPUs are dual slot and take 2 rear openings, and length, because a long card can hit drive cages or the front of the case. These are mechanical limits. The exam loves to test them. An expansion card is hardware, but without the right driver, it's just an expensive paperweight. A driver is the software that tells Windows how to talk to the device. No driver or the wrong driver, and you get symptoms that look like hardware failure, a sound card with no audio output, a NIC with no link, a GPU that outputs video but can't run games, or a capture card that recording software can't see. For driver sources, Windows Update is fine for basic function, but for full features, especially with GPUs, Wi-Fi adapters, and capture cards, you want the vendor driver from NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, or whoever made the card. Generic drivers miss features and cause instability. BIOS settings matter too. Some boards let you disable onboard audio or onboard NIC, and some let you choose between integrated graphics and PCIe graphics as the primary display. If you install a GPU and get no signal, check that setting. When a card does nothing after install, check these in order. Seating in the slot required PSU connectors and the correct driver. That sequence solves most tickets. Most motherboards have onboard audio, and for everyday use, it works. The limits show up when you need cleaner sound for recording, better shielding from electrical noise, more input options, or support for surround sound setups. A dedicated sound card, usually PCIe X1, solves that, or you can use an external USB adapter if the motherboard's audio chipset fails. For the exam, focus on recognizing the ports and troubleshooting simple problems. Many sound tickets aren't hardware, they're the wrong jack, a muted output in Windows, or a driver that didn't install. The common ports are 3.5mm jacks color-coded by function, green for line out, pink for microphone, blue for line in. Higher-end cards add orange and black for surround channels and gray for side speakers. Optical audio, that's TOS link. The square port with the red light carries digital audio to receivers and soundbars without interference. The exam might show you a photo and ask which port does what, or give you a no sound scenario and ask what to check first. These are the 3 habits that keep expansion card installs from turning into service calls. First, measure twice, install once. Check power requirements, case clearance, and slot compatibility before you order the card. A GPU that doesn't fit or needs a PSU connector you don't have is a waste of time and a return ticket. Second, drivers are not optional. Windows might auto-install something, but for full functionality, you need the vendor driver and you need to keep it updated. Out-of-date drivers are the #1 cause of mystery performance issues and missing features. Third, when a card doesn't work, check the basics in order: seating, power connectors, drivers, before you assume the card is dead. 9 times out of 10, it's one of those three, not a hardware fault. Follow that checklist and you'll solve most tickets in under 5 minutes. Let's wrap up with 3 habits that'll save you countless support calls. First, measure twice, install once, verify power requirements, physical clearance, and slot compatibility before you buy. Second, always install the vendor driver even if Windows finds something
automatically.
Out-of-date drivers are the #1 cause of mysterious performance problems. And third, when a card doesn't work, check seating, power connectors, and drivers in that order. 9 out of 10 tickets are one of those 3 things, not actual hardware failure. Master expansion cards and you've mastered a core technician skill. Great work today.